That took way too long. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start moving this around, and I think obviously it needs to turn like 180 degrees. We just gotta be careful because there's nice cars, crappy cars, and a whole bunch of stuff that can get hurt in here. And I didn't really think about this when I was setting it up. Can I even move this? Is that even within question? Nice. And that's not even the caster side. This is the caster side. So theoretically, this is even easier. Kind of. Next step is going to be taking the shifter apart real quick, because I don't want that banging around underneath the car. Normally there's people hanging out here all the time. It's a Sunday night, it's just about midnight, way too big. And I should be in bed getting ready to go to work tomorrow, but I'm not, because I get so flipping excited about this stuff, and honestly trying to sleep doesn't do much good. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can relate. Don't strip. Yes. Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this whole thing off. Just unbolting these, I'm gonna pull the shifter itself off of the torque tube, because as we slide this under, I can make it lower, but as we slide this under, there's already gonna be a lot of interfering things. I don't want that getting all hung up. We're gonna have to cut so much of this car, it's a little bit scary. But that's okay. Oh, what? That's wild. Like a flex coupling right there. Never taken apart one of these before. Never owned a Corvette. That came out nice and easy. What is that? Can I just pop that out? I think I might zip tie that on. Prevent this from being all floppy. That seems like it'll work. Nailed it. Why don't you move? I didn't like the sound of that. Whatever that was, that's okay. Dang it, this thing needs to go way more. Okay. Right away, sort of a clearance issue. This frame rail should slide right up on the inside of the main frame rail from the car, which isn't really a frame rail. I guess it is a frame rail, but it's built into the unibody, so whatever. And then this one should do the same thing. The whole thing needs to come this way just a little bit, but that's okay. And now we get to go up here and see just how bad this is going to be. We are going to know real quick how far back the engine needs to come into the firewall. And from the looks of it, potentially a lot. And level, and I'll have to figure out a way to jack this up to make it level as we go up with the car. The majority of the cutting is going to be from right here back. So, yeah, it's not going to be great, but it'll be fine. You have to cut this off if you want to really put a mark on there, but I think it'll be fine either way. Like, get that edge straight, you'll be able to eyeball this side.
Close enough. shit. Fresh battery.
Ow. It scraped my kneecap.
Almost. Just burning through batteries. I got it most of the way cut though, so this should just breeze right through.
Not terrible.
Nope. Well, it's not great, but you know, that's about what we're gonna get. So. Hey. Stop.
The back seats were gone already. We had that dialed. Now it's a question of, do we cut from the inside out or do we cut from the outside in?
I mean, we could just kind of wing it.
How about you?
Looks like a pain to cut out.
Can you make the initial cut from outside and then I'll see where it's at?
Yeah.
And go straight up from there on the inside of the car?
Mm-hmm. Well, really, we could just like drill a couple holes and then just get inside the car and just zip it out.
Yoink. All right.
So yeah,
Sounds
we'll
good
do
to
that.
me. I'll grab a drill.
Cool. Somewhere close. Jeez. Right, like right there. If I were to drill right there, will it clear?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's where
Those brackets on the inside of the frame rail are gonna get annoying.
Yep.
You might have to slide it out and take those off.
Dude, this drill bit ain't doing nothing. Trying to speed up the dose. Would you look at that?
Would you just look at it?
Would you just look at that? It can come down and out.
Very cool, Kanye. Very cool.
Get this thing out of the way.
Somebody's always got to sacrifice the armpit to the gasoline.
Yep.
It's my car. Might as well be me.
Oh man.
Ah!
Shizzle!
Thought we were not going to get all soaked in gas.
Well, of course, as soon as I put it in there, it's done draining. But better late than never.
Post-filter gasoline, at least, you know?
Yep. Good old filtered gasoline. Much better than the unfiltered stuff. For flammability.
Again, not the proper way to install gas lines, but it was a way that worked. I think that was my phone flying in my pocket and cracking on the concrete floor.
Sure was.
You love to see it. Alright, let's get these somewhat away from where the sparks are going to be.
What?
Oh, well, you know, there was that.
Dang it, man. This is exactly what we didn't want, but...
Okay, we'll fix it with right there, which is, you know, arguably more flammable, but for a shorter amount of time.
I mean, we could just light it on fire now.
Yummy.
Just taking this coating off, or this paint, whatever this is.
Wonderful. Okay. Look at that.
Would you just look at that?
I'm gonna exit my blowtorch to see how that goes.
You want to find a fire extinguisher first?
There's a fire blanket over there.
There it is. There's an extinguisher over there.
It's a fire blanket.
No, on the wall, on the door frame.
Oh yeah.
Should probably grab that. Oh my god.
At least, all things considered, there's no more vapor on the ground. And, God. Terrible.
Why are we so retarded?
It's better than laying in gas.
Yeah.
Honestly, it lit up a little more than I thought it was going to. Like, I thought it would just, like, go poof, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It could be worse.
Could be.
No, remember when we were working on that Gazelle kit car?
Mm-hmm.
And
the top of it caught fire?
No, it had a leaking carburetor. And we were just like, it'll be fine, it'll leak down, and it'll just run off the back of the motor. We'll just drive it around and see how it goes. And we were letting it idle in the shop, adjusting the timing, and it like lit the whole top of the engine on fire. So we didn't even shut it off, we just hit it with one of those powder extinguishers, like we just did with this. And it ingested all the powder and like completely destroyed the motor. You live and learn.
Oh well. That's like the best thing that could have happened to that car. Because if that didn't happen, we probably wouldn't have put the Miata engine in it.
Yeah. I bet you that thing weighed a total of 1,500 pounds all said and done. And that was a riot. Mm-hmm. Insert clip of Merciata Stang just flying down the road.
That sounds like pepper spray.
Do that again. Look at the camera. Okay. Next side, huh? Back at it again. It is, I don't even have a watch on, I don't know why I looked. 9 p.m. Something like that, 9:30 on a Sunday night. And I'm alone in the shop right now. There's nobody else here, which is to be expected. All the other guys have jobs, same as me, but I live here. So the work goes on. And I think we're gonna try to trim a little bit more tonight and get this transmission up further in and the subframe as well. And then once we're done with that, we might start pulling the dashboard and measuring to push the motor back. One thing that was done off camera was we went ahead and leveled this out a little bit more, and we'll pull this entire setup out and we'll re-level the subframe because it's sitting on some of the ends of the mount bolts and it's not exactly level, but it doesn't matter for our purposes right now. But we lifted the torque tube up to be more level, and then we decided to go ahead and we jacked it up higher than it is now. We jacked up the motor to make it level, and then we took our measurement. It looks like it's about 6 inches exactly to come back for the engine. So what that means essentially is that the headers are gone. We're gonna go to some ram air manifolds or some shorty style headers. And that'll actually help out a lot because the heat from these things is ridiculous. They leak all over the place. They sit way too low. They're the lowest thing in the bay. And they drag all over the place because they're so low. They're also just generally annoying. When I had the exhaust made, I should have had V-bands welded on, but I didn't. I stuck with the 3-bolt flange for some reason. even though I had V-bands throughout the rest of the system. I'm not sure. Honestly, it was my fault because I didn't ask for it. Should have asked for it. Didn't ask for it. But the guy instinctively put V-bands throughout the rest of the system, which I didn't ask for those either. But you think he would have put the V-bands there. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe V-bands don't work there. I don't know. I don't build exhaust for a living. But the next set will have a V-band if we're allowed. Like I said, I don't build exhaust for a living. Coming back in here, we made some more cuts right here. I think I'm going to cut that straight. I cut it because there's no tubing coming out. There's no like trans cooler lines coming out on this side. So I cut that side straight, but was able to curve this one in to kind of match the body of the transmission a little bit more. I don't like the way it looks right now. Maybe it doesn't matter in the future. These are still hanging out. I don't know how much I needed to take off those. I'm assuming they're actually going to have to go up higher. I haven't cut across the top yet because I want to make sure that whatever cut we make across the top is either like a perfect arc traced out or a perfect straight line traced out. That's about where I have it. We're still trying to decide whether, from like a looks point of view, it's going to be cooler. The rear seats are gone. Just for rear seats are gone. We hope that we can keep rear seats in. We hope we can keep rear seats in. Kobe's going to have a blast editing this. We were hoping we could keep the rear seats in, but we can't. There's just, the trans is coming up too high. We were thinking the trans was going to sit a little bit lower, but it still needs to go up probably 4 or 5 inches in this area right here. And by the time that we put the bracing in and run the new frame connectors from these rear frame rail sections down and under the front frame rail sections, there's not going to be anywhere to put the seats. What else? We're about to start cutting the rear frame rails, so wish us luck. One of the more concerning things about this car is the fact that the frame rails sit low enough to interfere with the control arm mounts in the Corvette subframe. And I'll explain that right here. Get my tape measure. Ugh. Walk around to this side. The chair's nicer on this side, so I figure that's where we should go. I totally just lied. The chair's over here. And we're still gonna go to that side because the wheel's on there, and it's easier to explain. Okay. So here's where we're at. Like we showed before, we have the all thread in here, and it just has a plate and a nut, and it's going down here and it's bent into the lower strut mount. And what that does is it just holds the control arms in what is estimated ride height. We had a buddy with a C6 Corvette. He took some measurements for us, took some angles, just real basic stuff on the iPhone, nothing crazy, and kind of sent them to us. So we just ballparked it and said the control arms are probably sitting about here at ride height. There's no suspension. When I say suspension, I mean the leaf spring and the strut in the car right now. We're on the subframe. So essentially what that means is this is suspended in place where we think it will sit when the car is on the ground. Off of that, we take the wheel and tire, which I don't know if this is the final wheel and tire. These are just the year one replicas. They're 17x9, and we've got a 275 on the tire right now, a 275 tire on the wheel right now, and we can just take a measurement. See, go a little longer just so you can see. From the top of the tire, there is, we'll just say 9.5 inches would be a great ride height. Not quite tucked. Obviously this thing's gonna get flares. It'll probably sit a little bit lower, but just to start, we know that because at ride height, because the suspension is suspended at ride height by the all thread, we need the subframe to go up another 9-ish inches. So when we look at that in here, just go from, we'll just say from the top of this control arm mount up. Can't really see, gotta get in here. 9.5. That means that right there, the top of that control arm mount, which will interfere with the frame rail, is gotta go way up there. So this is going to go up, and we're gonna have to cut into this and raise this up. So I think what we're gonna do is we're going to clearance the frame rail out. We'll recap it with some thicker metal because the frame rails that are in the car stock are just stamped sheet metal. So we'll probably put a thicker piece, like a thicker face piece on there. We'll weld that in wherever the cut goes, and then that'll just be there to seal it in again. and hopefully give it back some of the strength, but we're not going to rely on that. And we'll go ahead and we'll bend a piece of tube to go from the two ends of the frame rail, because the car is a unibody, so the frame rail doesn't travel all the way through the car. It actually stops right here at the leaf spring pocket. So at that leaf spring pocket, we can figure out a way to weld in a piece of tube, bend it up and over where the new cut piece is, and then weld it into the back. We'll put a plate back in here. The easier way to see is through here. Put a plate. This unbolts. There's two underneath the trunk pan also, and there's where the rear bumper bolts on. You can kind of see right here. There's the bolts up in here. There's the carriage bolts that are in there. You can see somebody at some point tack welded those. And we will take the bumper off, put a plate in there, probably on the inside of this pan. And then we'll weld the piece of tube to it, probably take this out. The tube will go up and bend over wherever the subframe comes through in here and go back and over and down to the bottom of the car. And then after that, the car is going to get a 6-point cage anyway, and it'll have the two frame rails, the two tubes on each side going underneath the floor up to the front section of the Corvette subframe, which will make up the majority of the frame. It's a working theory. We don't really have any idea what we're doing. We're just making it up as we go along, and theoretically it works. Now that we've clearanced out some more stuff, we should be able to jack this up a little bit more until the control arm mounting area starts making contact with the rail. But we'll see how high we can get it up before that happens. We're just going to see if some of the other stuff starts clearancing also. The rail might hit in here a little bit. We're not 100% sure, but we will see. I can already see a problem area in the floor pan that I didn't clearance out enough. We'll try to go forward with this anyway. Yeah, of course not. Not moving a single bit. What if I try to pull it backwards? What happens? No, it's pretty wedged. So I guess we're just gonna have to see when it comes unwedged or why it's wedged right now. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and ditch this. Ugh. Alright. I can already see a corner that needs to be clearanced a little bit more. I'm not sure how that got left. A little bit of sheet metal there. It's pretty thick. So I'm going to go ahead and zip that off. This side looks okay. There's some random lines right here for some reason. I can cut those off somewhere up underneath the frame and yank those out also. So we'll get into that. Okay. Seems like we've gotten that mostly cleared out. Let's check on those lines on that side and see what we can't take out of there. Go ahead and slide under here. So from up there you can kind of see. I'm going to try to get these done. These bolts undone. I don't know if you can see those on the camera. I don't think you can because the lighting's so terrible. Let's get a little light up in here. These bolts right here, they are holding on the lines, the original fuel lines for the car, which we don't use anymore. The real issue with them is that these bolts are covered in bed liner. And I know the easy answer is to just clean them off and undo them and pull them off the car, but the more fun and faster answer is just to grind the line off out of the way down there, and we will worry about cleaning all this crap off the car at a later date when we're final welding things and can actually take the time to care about it. Even better, you can just flip and wiggle them back and forth until they break off. And now they're out of the way. So this thing is to go back up now. I'm gonna go ahead and take a scraper. You can see it's interfering here right now. It's not wanting to go up anymore, which makes sense because the 1,000-pound motorcycle stand or motorcycle lift. Is it? Yeah, 1,000-pound motorcycle lift. Not trying to disparage Harbor Freight here. Is not gonna want to lift the whole car. So as soon as it binds on here, it says absolutely not. I'm not going up any higher. I could probably force it and it would pull the whole subframe and transmission back a little bit as it tries to clearance this. but then the frame here would start connecting with the gas tank. Yeah, we're pretty close on giving up on this gas tank staying in the car. There is a world in which I was hoping these would go up higher. The rear sway bar mounts down here, and this would only go up to like right here, and it would clear everything. With all the tube work that has to go into this thing, I'm just not seeing it. We'll have to figure that out in the future. But yeah, that's a good look. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a sharp object and start marking out, probably from like right here up, where this is gonna have to clear out. And then I will, I guess, grab an angle grinder and we will see. I mean, up here, it's just gonna lose everything. I mean, it's not gonna have anything left up here. So we'll have to figure that out. We will have to figure that out. The tank might need to come out first. We'll see. Another day, casual Monday night around here. Another night alone in the shop. Game plan is to get the gas tank out of the car so we have a little bit more breathing room to play around with some stuff. And then we're going to start cutting frame rails, which is scary but necessary because it has to happen at some point, and it might as well happen today, because the longer I let this car sit, the more scared of it I get, and eventually you just have to do it, right? Nothing is sacred. Hack it all apart. Here we go. Already started pulling a couple of these straps out. See there, some ugly ground wires. I don't think the tank is actually gonna fall out like it normally does, which is typically the back end would come down, and it would come down enough and swing forward enough, even though the straps are there, you could kind of push the straps forward, and then the gas fill right here can kind of clear out the bottom and then come out from under the car. Don't think that's gonna work here. I think what likely is gonna happen is it's gonna slam into that stuff, and I don't feel like taking it all out. So we'll probably just undo all 4 bolts of the gas tank straps, and then the straps can come down with the tank and they'll be out of the way anyway. And we'll likely have to find a new fuel solution. I have a 13-gallon fuel cell somewhere around the shop. Maybe that'll go in the trunk. Not sure. We're gonna figure it out. I guess we're gonna get after it. I think this will be a decent view. My goal now is to grab a couple jack stands. Yeah, you can probably see this one's hanging on by a thread. Those over there out some as well. I'm gonna go ahead and undo both those, get these out. We'll go around to the other side of the other front ones. I'll pull the straps out first and then lower the front of the tank. And then once the front of the tank is lowered, the fill spout should slide out from where it passes through like the rear valence. And then we'll just go from there. Okay. It's like somebody zip tied a power wire on this. Who would that be? Me, probably. Cut some of these. Oh, dude, look at that. That may or may not be why the fuel gauge was never working. Between that and the other random power wires zip tied to stuff over there, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Don't you love it? How frustrating? Very frustrating. So I have to go all the way down. This still won't want to come out because why would it want to come out? Maybe there's a chance. There's not a chance. I see this as a win. I really thought that was empty. It was not empty. It probably has, 5 gallons in there, which isn't terrible. But it's awkward. It doesn't feel great. Now, the real question is, how the flip? Wow, there's so much room in here. How the flip do we get these out? Because they were straight up. They're straight up not coming out. There's a trick somewhere, I'm sure. I'm out of breath. I need to, zip tie up some stuff. All right. I got this out off camera. It's not as bad as it seems. You just have to be smarter than the bent piece of metal. So maybe I'll get this one out on camera, without killing myself by slicing my wrist open on super sharp rusty metal. It's death by bleed out, or a few weeks of excruciating sickness and then death by tetanus. I should get my tetanus shot updated. I would have done that if I was smart. Yeah, there you go. That one came out super easy. So, onward. Okay, now that we have a clear shot under here, I think I can kind of show you what's going on. So you have these frame rails, which are just stamped sheet metal that is, spot welded in a bajillion places to the car. It's a really tough process to get out from what I've seen on YouTube. I'll be 100% honest, I'm not super confident that this car would come apart nicely or that the sheet metal would come apart nicely. I don't trust my own skills in putting new stuff in. They make some tubular rear frame rail replacements that I've seen guys install. I'm not 100% sure on the methods by which they install those. I'm not a professional body guy whatsoever. I don't trust myself to do this correctly. So, here's what I know. I know that this is, for better or for worse, on the car. All these spot welds, see where I patched up a little hole in the floor there where I cut through on accident when I was doing some stuff on the inside. For better or for worse, it's on the car. It all looks decently solid. There's some areas around the torque tubes up front where the front leaf springs perch that doesn't look great, but once I pulled the buckets out, it seemed like the rust was kind of between the buckets. The leaf springs over there. And the body itself, the body cleaned up kind of nicely. The rust isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. We're going to slowly but methodically cut this bottom flat face off of here all the way through, and then we're going to clearance this up and in to make room. We're going to take a tubular section, and it will have some plate up here, and it will mount to a plate between the rear valance. You see where there's 4 bolts here, where these frame rails bolt to the bumper and pinch the rear valance in between. We'll have a plate in there as well, and a piece of tube will run from that plate to there and follow the outside edge of this, except for where it has to go up and over these control arm perches. Then, once it's in, we will take these and we will be able to weld each wall of this to the tube. It might not be a total weld, it might just be stitch welding around, but either way, that will support the body on those tubes through this, which it's already supporting the rear of the body through. And it already has enough points throughout. Connection points throughout. It's gonna work.